The wind howled across the frozen plains of Virulon 9, carrying with it the silence of a world forgotten. The outpost was long abandoned, its supplies picked clean by scavengers and time. I had come only for one final scan, one last job before I returned to Earth for good. I wasn't a hero. I was a salvager. And then I heard her cry. It was faint, almost mistaken for the wind itself, but something primal in me turned toward it. I trudged through the snow, my boots crunching over a buried landing pad, past collapsed shelters and the skeleton of a domed structure. Then I saw her. She stood barely 2 feet tall, a child-shaped figure with pale blue skin, long silvery white hair tangled by wind, and ears that pointed back like soft crescent blades. Her eyes, huge and luminescent, watched me without fear, just longing. She wasn't human, not even close. But she was alone. "Hey," I said softly, lowering my rifle. "It's okay. I'm not here to hurt you." She blinked slowly. Her voice, when it came, was so quiet I almost didn't hear it over the wind. "Will you be my father?" My breath caught. That wasn't something you expect to hear on a mission, especially not from an alien child whose kind had vanished decades ago in the war. I looked around. No signs of life. No footprints but hers and mine. The system said this place was uninhabited for 15 years. "Where's your family?" I asked. She looked down, curling her tiny blue fingers. "Gone." I didn't ask more. I couldn't. I took her aboard my ship, the Hearthlight. She didn't speak much, but she clung to me. She refused to sleep unless I was in the same room. When she did sleep, she curled into a ball and whimpered, sometimes speaking in a language I didn't understand. I ran scans. Her physiology was complex, engineered, actually. She was part of the Corelli race, a species the Terran Federation once clashed with in a brutal border war. According to records, the Corelli had gone extinct after their homeworld's atmosphere collapsed. No survivors had ever been found. But here she was, breathing, alive. I called her Luma. She didn't have a name, at least not one she could remember. Luma started to smile after a few weeks. She tried to mimic my words, learned fast, asked questions about stars and engines and food. She was brilliant, and so painfully lonely. I knew keeping her was illegal. The Federation would classify her as a biothreat or a political weapon. Maybe both. I tried to find someone I could trust, someone who could take her in quietly. But the more I searched, the less I could imagine letting her go. She painted on the ship walls with luminescent gel. She memorized constellations. She laughed, actually laughed, when I gave her hot cocoa for the first time. She called me Papa one night when she was half asleep. And something inside me cracked open. The peace didn't last. 3 months after I found her, a patrol frigate intercepted us near the Sarth Belt. They claimed it was a routine inspection. I knew better. They scanned the ship, found Luma's signature. "We're taking the asset," the officer declared. "Stand down." "Asset." I growled. "She's not human," he said coldly. "Whatever attachment you think you've formed is irrelevant. Hand her over." Luma clung to my leg, her tiny hands trembling. I looked down at her. Her eyes searched mine. "Will you protect me, Papa?" I shot first. We barely escaped. The ship took heavy damage, limped into the outer orbit of a gas giant where I could activate stealth fields. I fixed the engine with Luma, holding the light. She didn't cry, not once. She just kept whispering that she believed in me. I sent out a message, encrypted, to an old friend, Dr. Rena Hallis, a xenobiologist who'd left the Federation years ago. She had once told me that if I ever found something truly worth saving, she'd help. I didn't expect her to answer, but she did. Her outpost was on Surela, a jungle moon hidden from most charts. It took us 2 weeks to get there under the radar. Rena had built a sanctuary, a secret home for lost species, forgotten tech, and ideas too dangerous for bureaucracy. When she saw Luma, her eyes filled with tears. "She's not just Corelli," Rena whispered. "She's hybrid, partially engineered for adaptation. Someone made her. She's not a survivor, she's a prototype. Maybe the last of her kind." Luma reached out and touched Rena's face gently. "Are you a friend?" Rena smiled. "Yes, little star. I am." They offered to take her in, to raise her with others, to give her safety. I should have felt relief, but I felt empty. Luma came to me the night before I was set to leave. We sat under the moonlight. She crawled into my lap and pressed her small forehead against mine. "I don't want to stay if you go. You'll be safe here. I'm safe with you." I held her tighter than I ever held anything in my life. "Do you remember the first thing you said to me?" I asked. She nodded. "Will you be my father?" Tears ran down my face. "You still want me to be?" "Yes." "Then I'm staying." We built a home there, not just for her, but for all the other forgotten lives scattered by war and ignorance. I taught her how to fix ships, how to cook, how to tell stories. She taught me how to feel again. One day, years later, a Federation scout ship crashed on the far side of the moon. I went to help. Among the wreckage was a young officer, bleeding and terrified. He looked up at me with fear, until Luma stepped beside me. "Are you a bad man?" she asked him. He blinked. "No, I don't think so." "Then don't be one," she said simply. And he wasn't. Word of our sanctuary spread, but not through violence or scandal. Through whispers, stories, and gratitude. Even some in the Federation began to secretly support what we were doing. I don't know what the future holds, but I know what I have now. She's no longer the scared little girl I found in the snow. She's strong, wise, a symbol of something better than what we had before. She's my daughter, and I am her father, forever.